Hey guys, it's Spacey Sims, and we are back with more Chaos Child, and we are finally in Artimurdo's route after several hours trying to get here. Look, I'm an idiot, whatever. It is what it is. We just won't have to do as much skipping in later routes. But, so we are at our first delusion, and this is where we kind of make the choices. Do we go down the bad ending or the good ending for her? I've been trying to think about it. I originally wanted to go down and do the bad ending first, but it does say like the bad ending you do all negative. Okay, anyway, it's that one guy does say the darker ending, which is the dark sky ending, which is her normal ending. That's what it's called. Is basically after her bad end. So it to me, I don't know. I think most of the other ones we'd probably get the good ending and then do all the bad endings. But I feel like for Artimura we should get the bad ending first and then do the good ending, since the good ending sounds like it's after her bad ending. I don't know. And maybe that's the wrong way to do it, but I think that's what we're gonna do. It might be not the right choice, but and maybe I shouldn't be using this guide to make that decision because hey, choose all choose all the negative delusions once you get into a route, but you have to do this for but that again, that could just be me being an idiot. I also don't think the guide's written that well, to be honest, but I didn't like the Steam guide either because it's like, here's how to get the positive endings, and then here's all the negative endings. No, put it by character. You know what I mean? Because I don't want to do all the positive endings and then go back and do every negative ending. It doesn't make sense. But anyway, I think we're going to do the bad endings. So we were just about to start getting our first delusion. So that was the decision we had to make. So why was she looking at me that way? Wait, this was just like, Miyashiro, I don't, no, wait. Did I really not? Mina Mikata had said it after all. If you pin a woman down, she'll do whatever you want. And she actually wanted you to. I didn't actually believe it, but maybe it was true and I just didn't know it. Then maybe... Actually, there was a whole special on it, wasn't there? It was the July 1999 issue, I think. That bratty little girl a year or two younger than you is actually just waiting for you to make a forceful move. A forceful move? That meant... That's right. I'm actually responsible for everything that happened. Huh? Everything? I mean everything, including that woman back there. What? Then you were the one who told her to attack us? But why? To bring you here, of course. I grabbed her by the wrists and pinned her to the bed. Artimura looked at me in surprise. Huh? And laughed? Why was she laughing? Artimura? Wow, that hurt. That didn't come out right. What's so funny? How could I not laugh? You set it up. You brought me here. Wow, that's just hilarious. Artimura stood and put her finger up to her jaw. And then, with a strange cracking sound, she started to rip down her own face. She's gone crazy. I screamed in panic. Ah! I don't want to scream too loud. She ripped off her own skin, and I could see the muscle and bone beneath. No, wait. Instead, I saw... You're... I found you. It was that woman from before. How could you run away? That's so mean. Her eyes glistened with madness as she got closer to me. This is a joke, right? Why? You know why. To burn you to ash. She slowly raised her hand, and then the first burst came forth. Ah! I kind of knew we were going to scream because I felt like screaming. Ow! Ow, bird! Fuck! Okay, you need to go away. Oh, shit. He was sitting on my shoulder, but right when I went, He jumped, but he jumped and his fucking toenail just dug right into my neck, like hooked in. It was like, oh, God, it still hurts. I love you, but holy shit, trim your toenails. They're too sharp. I know you guys scared, but holy fucking shit, buddy. That wasn't that nice. Did you just poop on my fucking couch, or was that your stupid bird friend? Which one of you assholes pooped on my fucking couch? Huh? Anyway, oh my God. That was... I'm sorry, that hurt like a motherfucker. The laughing scared him. I can't blame him for jumping, but fuck your nails. Anyway. Burn! 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 It was so hot. I felt like I was going to vomit from the stench of burning hair and skin. I opened my mouth to breathe, and a wave of fire ran down my throat. More! Writhe! Suffer! This is my pain! This is my joy! I can't talk in her voice anymore. Sorry, it hurts my throat, so hopefully she doesn't talk anymore. We'll just change her voice. Please! Please, no! No what? Huh? I said no what? Artimura was looking at me in confusion. Oh, no, nothing. Well, whatever. Mind getting off me or else I'll... Sorry. I leapt off her and started to grab the magazines off the floor. Those magazines... these aren't what they look like. I'd screwed up. I'd never imagined that a younger girl would see these. What do they look like? They? Oh, right. No matter what kind of excuse I came up with, Artimura would realize it was a lie. Gigalomaniacs. What an obnoxious power. Psh. What are you laughing at? I was just thinking you really are easy to figure out. Sorry for being so easy to understand. There's nothing to apologize for. It makes it easier to hang out with you. Oh, I don't mean hang out with you like in a weird way or anything. You don't need to tell me that. I know. Even I wasn't dumb enough to misunderstand that. I hope so. Artimura slowly stood up and looked out the window. He could still hear the faint noise of police and fire truck sirens in the distance. Come to think of it, I'd already forgotten that I almost died out there. Why? No, there was no need to ask why. It was because of Artimura. If I was here alone, I'd probably still be shaking. I wasn't trying to say that after what happened, Artimura was now someone special to me or anything like that. But in the past few hours, the thick wall between the two of us felt like it had just gotten a little thinner. Oh, my neck hurts so bad. Sorry, stretching. Okay, it's time for me to leave. You're leaving? I can't stay here forever. Or are you going to tell me I should spend the night here? I'm not. Damn it, she was making fun of me. Don't worry, I'll stick to streets with lots of people. I can't imagine her doing anything with all these police out anyway. She was probably right, I thought. But, want me to walk you home? Why? Because I'm worried, of course. Worried? About me? I mean, you're a girl after all. It's a man's duty to walk you home. That's what Cool Cat Press had said. Did you get that from that magazine too? No. You really are easy to figure out. Look at her fucking teeth. Damn it, I give up. That's part of it, but I really do think that it's dangerous out there. What? You're telling the truth, huh? Huh? No, nothing. Thanks for the offer, but I'm alright. Artimura cheerfully walked toward the exit and stopped and turned around before she got to the door. Thanks for your help today. You saved my life. Or, at least, we'll say that you did. Adios, gracias! She bowed her head silently and left. She didn't have to say that "we'll say" part. Strangely, though, it didn't bother me. Anyway, gigalomaniacs, huh? I'd use some kind of power to control that woman's flames. Artimura had said that was my power, but that was the only time I'd been able to use it. Let's try this again. I took a deep breath to calm myself. My power. But didn't we say somebody else had to be there to witness it? At first it was so hazy I had to focus to see it at all. But gradually it began to form a definite shape in the corner of my eye. It was twisted yet beautiful, disgusting yet pure. Its very presence was so overwhelming that it was impossible to believe it belonged to this world. God, I can't read. I reached out my hand fearfully, but I couldn't even touch it. What had I done before? That's right. When she'd attack me with her flames, Was this my... Ugh! It was just a message. That scared me. It was from Arimura. I made it home safe. I was surprised she'd be thoughtful enough to let me know. Either way, I was glad nothing had happened. After I put down the phone, I tried a lot of different ways to strengthen my power, and then at some point, I fell asleep. I wouldn't know until morning what had happened to the woman after that. 2005. Oh. They say that every person has a single image somewhere in their mind that defines who they are. For Hanai Arimura, that image was of her family seated around a dinner table. Wonder what mine is. Her mom and dad, and her brother, the four of them sitting around the table. That image, more than anything else, defined the kind of person that Hanai was. Look at her little fucking snaggletooth! Her little pointy tooth is so cute. Her mom and dad both worked, and on weekdays they often came home late. Sometimes they didn't even come home at all. But Hanai never felt alone. She was never alone because she had an older brother. Her parents had told her that when she was born, he'd been the happiest boy in the world. But she didn't need to hear that to know how much she meant to her brother. Hanai had always had a pretty face ever since she was a baby, and she'd always been popular. But her brother loved her more than anyone. Whenever Hanai cried, he'd always try to make her feel better, and when it was time for her to sleep, he'd rock her in his arms. He was in one of the older classes at elementary school, and he'd probably wanted to play with his friends. He'd had lots of friends, actually, and every day they'd invite him over. But he would always turn them down and come straight home to be with Hanai. With their parents working so much, he spent a lot of time alone in the house. He probably didn't want Hanai to go through the same thing. Normally, acting like that would cost him his friends, but that had never happened. He was just that good of a big brother. As Hanai got older, she became more and more like a young girl, and her brother loved her even more. Her parents decided that Hanai could safely be left in her brother's care and started to come home even later. But every Sunday, they were always home. Sometimes they'd all go out somewhere for the day, then come back in the evening and eat at the dinner table. That was the rule at the Arimura household. There was always warm food and her family always smiling. That was what happiness meant to her. It was something so natural and so normal that she never doubted it. And it was the truth. Wow, so that's what happened last night. Yeah, it was awful. The first thing I did when I got to school the next morning was tell Sarika what had happened. I had no way of knowing what happened to that woman after that. I checked the news when I woke up, and not only did I not find a name, I couldn't even find anyone reporting on the attack. But there were a lot of people on the social networks talking about the strange woman. After all that chaos, the police had to have known about her. Sorry, still, I didn't know what would happen next. I was a little hesitant to go to school, but I figured she wouldn't be willing to attack me in broad daylight. And since I'd made her here safely, I must have been right. So what happened then? What happened? I took Arimura to my room. Your room? You mean that RV? What else could I mean? Just the two of you? I can't do her voice, I'm sorry. My voice is broken. It's going to be for a while because, Of course, it's not like I was going to bring the woman who tried to kill us. I see. Felt like she was implying something. What are you grinning about? I mean, you alone with a girl in your room? That's amazing, isn't it? How rude. Listen, I've told you this 1,000 times before. I'm a normal. This is nothing for me. Then have any other girls been to your room since you moved there? Many times. Any who weren't me or Non? See? It was your first time, right? Right? Shut up. So, did something happen? Zerka's voice dropped into a conspiratorial whisper as she grinned at me. What do you mean, something? Aw, don't be silly. You know what I mean? Of course not. We were almost killed. We had bigger things to worry about. Aw, come on. I bet you liked it. I did not. Oh, who do I spy with my little eye? I turned around and saw Artemura herself waving at us. Oh, okay, it was her. I don't know. Artemura. What are you doing, you psychopath? Yep, it's me, Artemura. Miyashiro, ciao. Yeah. Artemura was acting nothing like she did last night in my room, and I wasn't sure how to deal with it. But I guess she was always like this at school. Sari, ciao to you too. Ciao, Hina. At least she hadn't heard what we were talking about. Time to change the subject. So? You didn't what? Did you hear what we were saying? About you liking something, or maybe not liking it? What were you talking about? Come on, tell me. I'm sorry, I don't mean to cough on you. God, I'm so sorry. Oh, it's just my fucking throat is killing me trying to read anything, but... Well, you see... I didn't. It's nothing important. Her voice was chipper, but her eyes weren't laughing at all. That's right, there was no way I could lie to Artemura. We were just talking about yesterday is all. Yesterday? Yeah. Yesterday, huh? I see. Huh, that must have been good enough for her. I'd expect her to be more suspicious. Oh, that's right. Artemura could only tell if I was lying or telling the truth. In other words, I was safe as long as I didn't tell her everything. Maybe I could use that with Artemura in the future. Oh, right, Miyashiro, look at this. Artemura gently rubbed her hair, which she tied up to the side. Did you do something to your hair? Can't you tell? Here, look, it got fried after what happened last night. Where? I got closer to look, but couldn't really tell. Look, right here. Oh, you're right. It's not a big deal, right? Not a big deal, my good sir? Don't you realize how important a girl's hair is to her? It's your fault for not dealing with that woman sooner, anyway. That's not even remotely fair, right, Onoe? Psh. Onoe? Miyashiro, what happened to Sari? Oh, she's always been like this. Don't worry about it. She was probably thinking about something stupid again. But if I asked about it, I'd probably have a mess on my hands. Oh, right. Actually, Miyashiro, about your power. She was whispering, so I whispered too. Oh, I wanted to talk about that too. That power? You mean the one where you can see that sword? Hey, Sari, you don't know might be listening, so don't talk so loud. Sorry. Anyway, Miyashiro. Yeah, I've actually learned to control it a little bit. Maybe. What? Does that mean you have a mysterious power too? Sari! Oops! After what happened yesterday, I've been tired, but I'd done what I could to learn more about my power. It looked like I needed to use someone else's brain to make my delusions real, so I asked Gen to be my guinea pig. Knowing Gen, he'd be so drunk he'd forget after a day or so. As a result, I can move things that aren't too heavy. How light are we talking about? Like a rock? No, a little tinier maybe. A notebook then? A couple pages. What? The only thing you could use that for is flipping up girls' skirts. Looks around suspiciously. I didn't try that in another timeline. It may not be anything special right now, but eventually I'll be able to move stuff that's heavier. Sarika, you jerk. I tried really hard. But still, flipping up skirts, huh? I see. I hadn't thought of that. But it's okay, Ito would've. Of course. Of course. I'd overlooked that. What a brilliant idea. But I couldn't do it here. No, but this might be a good chance to show off my powers. And what's more, Serica, this is your fault to begin with. Do you know how hard I worked just to move one tiny little object? I barely got a wink of sleep last night. It was the least she could do after all that effort. Stare? I suddenly realized that Serica was staring at me. What? You're thinking of something naughty again, aren't you, Taku? Even in our delusions, we somehow know she's psychic and can read our minds. You know, I feel like somewhere deep in our mind, even though we were like, what? We knew somehow that we created her and she had a power. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like, I should have known because there was always something weird about you. And I always knew there was something, and it's because she came from our brains. So, you know, we would have some kind of connection, like twins have a connection, you know, even if we're not aware of it. But even in our delusions, she's like, oh my God, this is happening. How would she know about that? Because we somehow know she you know what I mean? Like, it's weird. Like, we have a weird sixth sense about her. Shit. What are you talking about? I'm not. That's a lie. You were, weren't you? Shit. That's right. Artemura's here. You were probably thinking about something perverted again, weren't you? I can't do her voice, I'm sorry. I was not. That's another lie. So he definitely was. This was going nowhere. I was just digging myself into a deeper hole. But if I answered by shaking my head, I'd be basically admitting it. Now Artemura's power made her a formidable foe. So, what shall we do, Hina? Huh? What do you mean? I think perverts do need to be punished. Punished? Depending on what they had in mind, that might actually be a good thing. Got any good ideas? I want something that'll stop him from ever getting thoughts like that again. That's right. Why not blind him? Huh? Oh, I like that. If he can't see anything, he won't be able to think anything naughty again. That's not true. I have an imagination. Wait a second. It's going a little too far just because I thought... Don't worry, Taku. It won't hurt. No, that's not the issue. Miyashiro? Right. Couldn't I use my power to distract them somehow? If I could knock and move something or destroy it, they turn their attention towards that. And then I could run. Okay. I concentrated for a moment, and then when the die sword appeared, I focused on it. Oh my God, stop it! It is too late for you to be the loud, obnoxious douchebag. Shut up, or you were going to bed. Now I could... It is fucking quiet time, you asshole. Suddenly, Artemura's face contorted with pain. Hina? It hurts. What's wrong, Hina? Artemura screamed as she writhed in pain, clutching her right arm. It wasn't an act. It was a real scream. I could see red blood falling down from the end of her arm, forming a puddle on the floor. I can't really scream really loud, I'm sorry. Or at all, but Artemura screamed even louder. And in the next moment... Go to bed. No. Get in your fucking cage. You're going to bed, I'm sorry. I don't care. Get in there. Get in your cage. Don't you fly around. You are going in your cage. It's night time for you. Get in your cage. Fine. Fly over there and sit on the floor then, in the corner. No. Get... Hold on. I'll be right back. I gotta put him in his cage and put the blanket on him. I can't listen to him scream. Like, he's gotta go to bed. It's freaking too late at night for him to scream. I'll be back in a second. I can't deal with him screaming, and it's also 11 o'clock at night. I can't have him just fucking screaming nonstop in the middle of the goddamn night. So, he's in his cage. He's in bed. I know you don't like it, and you're worried about your bird friend, but he is in bed. You're gonna go to bed in a minute, too, if you don't fucking stop. Like, I know you worried about him, but you play by yourself or do whatever. And, like, Neelix is trying to get under the other blanket, and it's like, he's in bed because he's being an asshole, and he needs to learn to be fucking quiet. And it's late. He can go to fucking bed. I don't want to listen to it. Like, I'm sorry, but I don't. Like, and during the day, I will scream at him and tell him to shut the fuck up, but I don't want to scream at him and tell him to shut the fuck up at 11 o'clock at night, but I also don't want to be listening to him screaming at 11 o'clock at night. It's like, Jesus goddamn Christ. Like, it's 11 o'clock at night on a fucking Sunday night. Nobody needs to listen to you screaming. Least of all me. I really don't like my neighbors, but I also don't want to deal with them bitching because the bird's a douche canoe. You know what I mean? So, anyway. If you keep your peeping up like that because he's in his cage, you will go in your cage and you will go to bed too. Okay? I'm just saying. Oh, sure, now he's like chirping nice because he's like, oh, I'm chirping nice. What? Ugh. Anyway. And in the next moment. Ah! It exploded. Artemar's right hand swelled up like a fruit with a firecracker in it and then exploded from the inside. The tiny fragments of flesh splattered across the windows, the wall, and my face, too. Okay, stop. Artemura fell to the floor, holding her hand. What is this? Did you do this, Taku? No. Do I have to put you to bed, too? I don't want to listen to you making that noise. You stop it. You can play nice. You can be quiet. You don't shriek because your friend is in his cage. He went to bed because he was screaming. And if you keep making those noises, you're going to go to bed too. Like, I don't want to listen to you over there kind of shrieking at me because he's in bed. Fucking assholes. I love birds, but I really fucking hate them right now. That's not true. I love Neelix, but I hate the other fucking bird right now. And like, Jesus goddamn Christ. It's like, there are times where I sit there and it's like, I could not imagine my life without my fucking bird. Like, I'd be like, it's so empty. But then there are other times where you're like, oh my God. I'm going to put you outside. I'm going to let you fly. I would never do that. Oh my God. But you're like, oh my God. Like now. Now you're testing my limits to the point where I don't want you right now. I love you to death, but I really wish I could just put you in another fucking room. Like, good Lord, you deserve a teeny tiny cage that's just for sleeping that I will fucking throw you in another room. Both fucking pains in my ass right now. I just want to fucking get through this without having to deal with you shriek. Oh my God. I fucking hate my children. You're lying. I could hear him moaning on the cold floor. It was you, Miyashiro. Taku. No, I didn't mean to. Hey, Senri, what's gotten into Miyashiro? Don't worry about him. He's always like that. So in this class, point P... Oh, so in this case, I was like, in this class? In this case, point P... Artemura and I had decided that it would be better not to use my powers for a while. No matter what that woman was after, it was very likely that it had something to do with our powers, which meant that I should avoid doing anything that would attract attention. And everybody knew when you had a trump card like this, it was best to master it in secret and play it at the right moment. So if you plug this into the formula... Anyway, why was math always such a pain? I wanted information, not formulas. Numbers and formulas were just ideas and didn't provide any benefit at all as information. Times like this. I took out my Pokécom and hid it under my desk, then loaded Shibuya News. What? What's wrong, Miyashiro? Oh, no, nothing. I see. Solve this next problem, then. Crap. That was a mistake. This was big news. I would have been like, I just mean, I'm sorry, could you just repeat that? Okay, sorry, I misheard you, you know, so. Hey, big news! Big news! I heard the door to the clubroom fly open and Ito ran inside. What is it? Why are you yelling? Why are you so calm, Miyashiro? News! And big news, too! Listen carefully. The person behind the new generation madness has been... They were arrested, right? That's right. What? You already knew? Of course I did. Who do you think I am? I call myself the biggest right-sider in the school for a reason. Everything you learn, I learned a long time ago. There is a point where you're just like, I'm not surprised that Ito fucking wanted to, destroy you, because you're kind of a dick to him. And I feel like if he had done it because you're a dick to him, it'd be almost justified to be like, I kind of get it. But he did it because somebody mind controlled him and made him do it, and he killed poor little Yui. But if he was coming after us, kind of understand it. Then, what about the information on the girl they caught? Rico Haida. I thought it was Rico. Anyway, age 18, unemployed, was arrested by a police officer last night on suspicion of being behind several arson cases in Shibuya, right? So you did already know, huh? That sucks. I was sure I'd beaten you to the punch this time. To tell the truth, I just found out about it in math class. But that's how information worked. Knowing things first puts you at an advantage. That said, I was overjoyed to know that the woman who attacked me had been arrested. Now I wouldn't have to be afraid of being attacked again. But is it really good for the newspaper club that they were caught? What do you mean, Onoe? Because if the case got even bigger, that means we could have gotten a bigger scoop, right? That's right. I guess in that sense it is bad news. What do you think, Taku? Did you want to keep chasing the case? I wasn't sure. I mean, she's sus as fuck because we've done the main route, but it's so funny when you now doing this, you're like, she's like, oh, it's bad news for us, right? Don't you want it? And you're like, wow. Obvious. Don't you fucking dare start that fucking screaming shit. You go back to being fucking nice and behaved, or you will go in your cage and go to bed. It was true that the bigger this got, the more people would be paying attention. No, I think it's for the best. Huh. I didn't expect you to be so passive. I figured you'd want more stuff to happen. Are you going to bed? Because you can go to bed too if you're going to scream. You were sitting there being nice, but I'm not listening to you too. You're making it sound like I want people to die. Listen up, just so we're clear, I'm not a psychopath. I don't want people to get murdered. I want to know the truth about the murders that have already happened. To tell the truth, I was a little disappointed that the case had ended this way. But half of me felt relieved, too. Anybody who'd been the target of a murder attempt could understand how terrifying it was for me to have that woman with those strange powers try to kill me. There were ways to deal with a physical attack, but her power violated the laws of physics. It was a miracle I'd made it away from her alive at all. So I was honestly glad that woman, Haida, had gotten caught. Well, I'm a little disappointed. Now that the police have her, they'll be taking everything over. Just like Onoe said, if things had dragged on a little longer, even more people would have been paying attention to the case, and if I'd been the one to solve it, the newspaper club would be famous. But there's no point in complaining about that now. Wait, does that mean that the case we've been following is all over? Well, before I could give my opinion, the door opened. Ciao, everybody! Hinai is here. Arimura, what are you doing here? How can you be so cruel? We went through the fight of our lives together. Oh, right. When Miyashiro was attacked, you were there too, weren't you? That's right. The scary lady showed up and then everything went boom, kaboom, bwam! It was really nuts. She was waving her hands in an exaggerated manner as she spoke, but it was impossible to figure out what she was trying to say. I see. So this is the newspaper club. It's your first time here, actually, isn't it, Hina? No, I was here once before, on the day of the Culture Festival, but I didn't feel like the right time to really poke around. Arimura walked around the room, staring at everything, and stopped in front of the corkboard on the wall. Oh, this is cool. It's like a detective show. Right? It's got all of our observations on the case. Hey, Sari, what's this? Oh, that's... She wasn't listening at all. So, Miyashiro, about what we were talking about before. Oh, yeah, before. What was that? About whether the case was over. Oh, right. I was thinking about that. What? What you talking about? Till a moment ago, she was enjoying her conversation with Sarika, but now Artemura happily butted into ours. We were talking about the case. You heard the woman who attacked us got arrested, right? So... Huh? That scary woman was arrested? What? You didn't know? She had friends in a lot of places and seemed like she'd be really quick to pick up on new information, so I was surprised to see she was actually a wrong-sider. Jeez, if the cops caught her, they should have told us. That's right, we almost got burned to a crisp. I know, right? And after all they made us do for them? That's why nobody trusts the cops these days. You can complain about the police some other time. Miyashiro, what are you thinking? All right, listen, if you look back on all the murders that have happened so far... Stop it! You do not shriek at your fucking water bottle. God. I know your bird friend is in bed, but you were being an asshole. First there were the murders, and then there were the fires as well. I decided to think about the relationship between the two of them. The first thing I had to do was go over all the cases that had happened so far. All the cases that had happened so far form what people were calling the return of the new generation madness. The first murder was, don't look at me, the death of Otani, the Nikoniya live streamer. And the second, Leaky Noise, Mamone Takayanagi, the anime song singer. And the third was, that's right, Revolving Dead. That's where Artemura's acquaintance Kakita had been killed. I remember that one clearly as well. I'd been there, after all. And the next one, the fourth murder was another one I'd never forget. Gotsuon Death, where Watabe, the internet reporter, had died at the school culture festival. Those were the 4 murders that happened so far. The problem was what came next. The fires. The fires had happened near the Don't Look at Me incident in Jinan. Yeah. Near the Leaky Noise incident in Shinsen. Near the Revolving Dead incident around the Love Hotel. Near the Gotsuon Death incident. In other words, near Hekio Academy. That's right. The fires were happening regularly near the sites of the New Generation Madness. So we know that the fires are taking place near the sites of the murders. It'd be strange to think that they weren't connected somehow. I concluded that the fires were all set by Riko Haida, the pyrokinetic gigolomaniac. But then why are the methods used so different? The murders didn't even involve arson. That's because... why? I know. The arson incidents were just practice. She practiced, but it didn't go well, so she chose a different method. What? You don't look satisfied? If you've got an opinion, then say it. I don't know if it counts as an opinion, but... Then what about that lab? Artemura seemed annoyed at Ito's inability to finish his sentence and interrupted with a doubt of her own. That lab? You mean the one in the basement? That's right. Do you think the research they did there had nothing to do with the case? Well, it probably did. But the experiments that were performed down there ended with the earthquake. So it would be strange for her to just suddenly start killing people now. When I told Artemura that, she still didn't look satisfied. You know about Kikita, right? The victim of Revolving Dead, right? I think... Yeah, I told you he was a friend of my brother's, right? I remember that she had. I can tell you the truth about this now. He was investigating psychics like us, and he said there might be some huge organization behind all this. A huge organization, huh? Sounds like a conspiracy theory to me. What was its name? He was supposed to tell me on the day of the incident, but... he died. No, he was murdered. And then you're trying to say that the killer wasn't Riko Haida? That's not it. I'm not smart enough to figure that out anyway. But even if she was the killer, I think there might be something else behind, or someone else behind her. Are you throwing food everywhere? What do you think, Ito? I always did love conspiracy theories, but it just doesn't seem very realistic. Either way, there's not enough information to make that call right now. What about you, Onoe? Me? What do you think, Taku? Don't answer a question with a question. Sure, but I really don't know. You don't know, at least try to think about it, okay? Oh, fine. I'll tell you my own opinion. I don't want to get attacked again, so I hope she is the killer. To be honest, I still thought it was a miracle I'd made it out of that alive. If she'd attacked me when I was asleep, I wouldn't have lasted a minute. Now we just wait and see what the police say. Whether she was the killer or not, it'd be a good idea to be careful for a while now. I think so too. We talked about this at lunch, but I think that both you and I need to be extra careful because of our powers. I silently nodded. Normally I'd want to practice and try to learn to better control my abilities, but it'd be smarter to wait and see if the case had ended first. Alright, for now, we'll just be careful. And just as we finish, we hear the sound of someone pounding the wall in the corner again. I was wondering where Kazuki was. Sheesh, again? Hey, Kazuki! She was so busy with ESO2 she couldn't hear us again. Oh, no way. Okay. Sarika nodded, went over to Kazuki, and took off her headphones. Hey, Hana? Taku says no pounding on the wall. That was the actual word. Miyashiro? Who's that? Huh? Oh, I guess you never saw her before. Hana Kazuki. She's a first-year student and a member of our club. Wow, I didn't even realize she was there. Arimura walked over to her. Ciao! Kazuki bowed her head. I'm Hanai Arimura. Call me Hina if you want. I can call you, Hana, right? She bowed again. I'm sorry, can you say that aloud? Oh, no, Hina, Hana doesn't talk. She doesn't? Why? Religious reasons or something? I don't know why, but she doesn't talk, right? She bowed. She doesn't even say, Normally she mumbles, but not a word? Not a word. I see. I guess that's fine. It makes things easier, so... Since we're friends now, let's shake hands. Kazuki was still hesitant, but Arimura grabbed her hand and swung it around. That was probably her version of a handshake. What surprised me was that Kazuki didn't seem upset. I thought she'd resist Arimura's attempt to force them to be friends, but she seemed kind of embarrassed. But then something amazing happened. Nice to meet you, Hana. As Arimura swung her arm around. Oh my fucking god. She speaks. Nice to meet you. Maybe. Huh? Hey, was that... Kazuki talked? The whole room shouted in amazement. We'd known Hana for about 6 months, and this was the first time we'd heard her voice. But Hana herself seemed more surprised than anyone. That means that in her route, she's going to talk. It felt like she didn't intend to speak, but had just been caught up in Arimura's energy. Wow, you have a cute voice. You should talk more. Come on, say something else. Ready? Go. Come on, you can do it. Just a little. Doesn't have to be a lot. She wasn't going to say anything else, it seemed. I fucking love that, though. I can't believe that Kazuki would... She really can talk, huh? It's Arimura's energy that scares me most of all. Everything we talked about that day seemed pretty important, but it was all blown away by our shock at Kazuki actually speaking. We're done! Yes! Hey, let's go someplace on the way back. 3 days had passed since the attack by Riko Haida. There had been no new events with the case. The police were probably still investigating Riko Haida. They hadn't announced anything else. There must have been some kind of censorship in effect because the TV shows had mostly stopped talking about it. The only people who were still talking about it were online. The wrong-siders at school seemed to have forgotten that a murder occurred in this very building. What's wrong? Why the sigh? Kurusu was looking down over me. I mean, she's not my favorite, but I am happy to see her alive. You know what I mean? She is a good girl who doesn't deserve to die, so. Her injury from the other day still hadn't fully healed, but Dad had told her that she'd be able to go back to school, and so today she had. It's nothing, really.
Yeah, right. You're probably hoping that something else happens with the case, aren't you?
I'm not, no.
Listen, Takuru, you were almost killed. Even if they caught the woman, you're still in danger. And you agree that even if you're not going after the case, you can still have fun, right? Don't forget that.
I know that.
Do you really? Then,
Shut up. I said I know. You don't have to keep saying the same thing over and over. I'm not a kid. Knowing Kurusu, I was ready for her to be even more annoying, but...
you're right. I'm sorry.
Huh? I wasn't sure how to react to that.
You're right. You're doing what you're doing for a reason. I shouldn't have said that. I'm sorry. Just don't do anything dangerous, please.
I know. Kurusu smiled weakly, took her bag, and left the room. What was that? It was throwing me off.
Taku!
I ran into Sarika when I left the classroom. Actually, she was probably waiting for me.
I wanted to see if you wanted to go home together.
I didn't really say anything, but Sarika started walking next to me anyway.
I saw what just happened.
You mean with Kurusu?
You shouldn't act like that. Nan's still recovering. You need to be nice.
I didn't mean to. That's right. I hadn't meant to hurt her. But Kurusu always had to be right, no matter what. She'd been like that ever since we lived together at Aoba dorm. Sometimes it was frustrating to deal with someone who was always right. After I made my promise with Kurusu, I was still watching the news and looking online, but I've been trying my best to avoid doing anything else. For the past few days, I've been staying quiet. I'd even canceled the club meetings for today, and I was trying my best not to think about how bored I was. The funniest thing is, though, is like, Kurusu's trying to stop us from doing any of this stuff, and like, Sarika obviously wants us to continue, but Sarika still, every single time, isn't like, oh my god, fuck no, I'm like, whatever. She's like, you need to be nice to her, stop. She's looking out for you. You know what I mean? Like, this is why she's like totally trying to seem inconspicuous, because otherwise if she was like, oh my god, don't listen to her, we should totally do this, you'd be like, you're like really pushing this, and it would be so obvious. But she's like so good at manipulating shit. But the way she said it still made me out to be the bad guy. Oh.
Huh? What's wrong?
I forgot something. I've been thinking so much I'd gotten distracted. Sorry, I gotta go back and get it. Go home without me.
Oh, sure, okay.
I've been spacing out lately. Maybe I was just too bored. Oh, here it is. Even if I'd gotten in a fight with Kurusu, I still couldn't believe I forgot my Pokegum. Just as I grabbed my Pokecom, I went to leave. I saw a familiar pair of blonde twin tails bobbing down the hallway. Artimura? She was cheerfully walking down the hall with a group of several other girls. Were they classmates or friends from her club? It was the same group of girls I'd seen before. Anyway, so I saw Haruka walking with Inoue a while ago. No way, you're kidding me. I thought she was close with Shirai. Wait, Hina, that was forever ago. After Shirai, there was all that stuff with Morimoto? No way, I had no idea. Nobody told me about this. Well, you seemed to have a lot going on at the time. Wow, that's a real shock. Anyway, I wish you'd tell me to be popular with guys like that. I'm not doing it because I want to. I know that. We all agreed it was Shirai's fault, right? That's right. We all know you're a good girl, Haruka. There. Wow, a lot's going on in the world, huh? Stop it. You sound like an old woman. Nah, I can't keep up with you youngsters these days. What? That's hilarious. Anyway, how are you for time? Oh crap, you're right. Wait, you're not coming, Hina? I'm too old for this stuff. I'll let you young people handle it. Cut it out. Anyway, see ya. Okay, adios, gracias. Evidently, Arimura wasn't going with the rest of the group. She watched them disappear down the hallway, laughing and chattering as they went, and then... She sighed loudly. And then, as if she really was an old woman, she lazily put her hand on her shoulder and stretched her neck. And then... Oh, our eyes met. Ciao, Miyashiro. Hi.
Did you see that?
Do you mean the conversation you just had, or how lazy you looked just a second ago?
Whoops!
You saw both, huh? That was a screw up. She slapped her hand to her forehead like a bad comedian and smiled. Why don't you go with him? Ah, jeez, you should be able to guess. It's a pain in the ass. Her happy tone vanished and she seemed genuinely annoyed. They're all shallow. They say things they don't mean. They pretend to have fun. You disagree about the slightest thing, and next time you're out of the group. That Haruka girl you just saw goes from one boy to another. She especially likes taking other people's boyfriends. She makes them break up, and then as soon as they do, she gets bored and dumps the guy. Everyone else is pissed off at her, but they're playing along and laughing. It's the same with Rie and Maki. They both say she's a good girl, but neither of them believe it. But they smile and just play along and pretend to be friends. It's stupid and it makes me sick. Just the idea of hanging out with them after school, too, makes me want to throw up. I'd heard Arimura talk like this several times before. Sometimes it had been directed at me. But it felt like she was more emotional now than she'd ever been before. Everybody told a lie or two. But if you didn't know when other people were lying, it was still possible to trust them. But once you knew when they were lying, once you knew that they were what they were thinking under their smiles, could you still trust them like you did before? I didn't think I could. Maybe knowing if what you were told was true or not was a lot more painful than we thought it. Wow. Maybe knowing if what you were told was true or not was a lot more painful than we thought it was. I remember what Arimura had written for her wish during the school festival. Please let the truth be found. That tiny wish was a cry from her soul. But her voice was a whisper. I hate myself most of all for hanging out with them anyway. Arimura... Just kidding! She tried to go back to her usual self and give me a mischievous wink, but she must have realized that it didn't work. She scratched her head, looking awkward. Oh, jeez, don't make that face. I don't know how to deal with it. Hey, can I ask you something?
What?
Why are you telling me this? Huh? You and I just met. Until just a little while ago, we could barely even talk. So why are you telling me this? I'm not sure. Because I'm a gigalomaniac just like you? Well, that's probably part of it, but... But? It's probably because you're so easy to figure out. I'm easy to figure out. You're the type who can't hide what they're feeling, right? When you lie, you start to get all flustered. Don't be stupid. Got my poker face on at all times. That's impossible. See? Just like that. No, that was just... Oh, it was just what? It felt like the more I tried to respond, the more I was digging my own grave. No, your bird friend's still in bed. Oh, there he is. Hey, Taku. Sarika came back. She must not have gone home after all. You know what's really funny? You really loved her. So I really did love her in the very beginning, like, and through the whole route. And it was like, she's a really great villain. It's awesome. Now, though, now knowing everything, her coming back and being like, oh, hey, I won't leave you alone. You're like, oh my God, push her off a building. Now knowing how shady she is, it's like, girl, you're fucking clingy as shit and you need to leave. But she used to be like, wow, she's a pain in the ass and annoying, but like in an adorable kind of way. It's amazing how fast you're like, oh, you again, when you know that she's an evil bitch. But at the same time, is she real? Like, you know what I mean? She's doing it all for us and she doesn't know any better, really. It's like she's an evil mastermind, but also an idiot. Like, it's just really complex. But anyway, Sarah came back. She must not go home after all. I think I read that. Oh, no, wait. What's up? Did you forget something too?
No, that's not right. You were taking so long that I decided to come check on you.
Sarika ran up to me and pouted. I told you to go home without me.
True, but remember what you said this morning? You needed a new smartphone, and I figured if you were going to get one, I should come too.
Come to think of it, I never did find my phone. According to Shinjo, that Yamazawa girl had thrown it away. As for the photo, it was sad, but if it wasn't coming back, there was nothing I could do about it. I talked to Serica this morning about how I needed to get a new one, but...
Huh? Oh, it's Ina!
You just noticed her?
Ciao, Sari! Ciao! Oh, Hina, you want to come too? We're getting a new smartphone.
Hey, who said we're going today?
Huh? We're not?
Well, whatever. I think I was kind of bitchy to her, but...
Oh, I'll pass.
It'd be awkward if I ran into my friends.
Yeah, I'm not sure I follow, but that's too bad.
All right, I'm off. Adios, gracias. This time she posed like a salaryman ninja from an old manga and skipped off toward home. Hey, Onoe?
Huh?
Am I easy to figure out?
Yeah.
She didn't hesitate at all. Doesn't count coming from her.
What's wrong, Taku? You look down.
It's nothing. I'd always considered myself inscrutable and mysterious, so that was a bit of a shock.
Anyway, Hina's so much fun, isn't she?
Is she?
You were having fun talking to her.
Fun? Me? Talking to Artemura? Sure, that whole you're going to be killed thing when we first met scared the hell out of me. But when I actually talked to her, I found out she wasn't that scary at all. I was never really good at dealing with normals, in the common sense of the word, mind you, not the superior original sense. But Artemura felt different than the others. Part of it was that she was a gigalomaniac too. But the biggest reason was probably that she was always keeping her distance from other people. She kept a comfortable distance to avoid making anybody upset. She'd learned how to do it through long practice. And in that sense, it's fun. Or, well, I don't mind it, I guess.
I see.
What? Why do you look so happy?
Nothing. Anyway, are we going to get that phone?
No, I think I'll pass for today.
Yeah? I should have just gone home then.
That's what I told you to do. There still might be a lot of sumo stickers in town. I should stay put for a while.
That sucks. Maybe I'll go invite Nan and we can eat some sweets.
Do that. I'm sure it'll make Kurusu happy.
Okay, see you, Taku.
Right. Now then, maybe I should go home and read the latest edition of Cool Cat Press, which Gen bought me yesterday. Like the latest edition, but it's not. 2005. Smiles. There were always smiles in Arimura's family back then. I'm assuming, is Shingo our brother or our dad? I'm guessing our brother.
Look, Hina, you got some cream stuck on your lips. Oh, wow. Get it off, brother.
Fine, fine. There, I got it.
Thanks. You really do love...
Oh. Koichiro? Is Koichiro... I don't know. You really do love your big brother, don't you?
That's right, but it's always such a...
Oh, no. Okay, then that's her mother.
That's right, but it's always such a big help to have Shingo take care of Hina.
Keep it up, Shingo. Mom and Dad were both busy with work. Sometimes they'd have to sleep with the company, and they didn't spend a lot of time at home. But when they were with the family, they always smiled. And Hinae had a big brother, too. Just having her brother by her side was enough for her not to feel lonely. She could and did believe that she was part of a happy family. For young Hinae, that was her whole family. That was what was true for her. One day, Hinae was bullied a little at school. It started with something small. Someone said that they lost the basketball game in gym class because of her. Hinae was a tiny little girl, and the big ball scared her. When they passed it to her, she ducked away. When her brother Shingo saw she was down, he immediately asked her, "What's wrong? Is someone bullying you?" Hinae shook her head.
No, I'm not being bullied.
She was embarrassed. She didn't want her family to know that someone was mad at her for something. So she lied. But her brother had known immediately that she wasn't telling the truth. "Hinae, lying is wrong. Whatever you do, don't tell lies. I don't want you turning into that kind of coward." It was the first time she'd seen her brother look so strict. Her brother hated lies more than anybody. She'd been so impressed by her beloved brother that she'd sworn to herself that she'd never tell a lie. She couldn't grow up to be a coward. She wasn't going to tell any lies.
Actually,
Hinae told her brother everything. That she'd been bullied at school, that it was over something that had happened at gym class. "Want to practice with me then?"
Can I? Sure, if you get good, nobody will be mad anymore.
With her brother's help, Hanai got over her fear, and the bullying stopped and her friends came back. She came to love her brother even more. But one day, Hanai realized that all her happiness was an illusion. It started when she witnessed her parents cheating. Whew, okay. This is as good a place as any to stop because I had to stop it to put the birds in bed. Are you in bed? You want me to cover you up? Okay. But yeah, so I'm guessing we're roughly at time, so it's close enough. Anyway, I will see you guys next time. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more.